Welcome to English literature class, dear students of class 11th. Now start from page number 66, the first line. The craftsman agreed without question, and the three men set out on donkeys toward the north. The three men, Mandarin and Sir Alexander Heathcote and the craftsman, the three men, set out on donkeys toward the north. They travelled for over 2 hours up a thin winding path into the hills behind the craftsman's workshop. And when they reached the village of Ma Teen, they were met by another Mandarin, who bowed low to the minister and requested Sir Alexander and the craftsman to continue the journey with him on foot, because that was a hilly area. They walked in silence to the far side of the village and only stopped when they had reached a hollow in the hill from which there was a magnificent view of the valley all the way down to Hali Chuan. In the hollow stood a newly completed small white house of the most perfect proportions. 2 stone lion dogs, tongues hanging over their lips, guarded the front entrance. That was the infrastructure of the building. The little old craftsman, who had not spoken since he had left his workshop, remained mystified, confused by the purpose of the journey, until the minister turned to him and offered a small, inadequate gift and my feeble, weak attempt to repay you in kind. As he had given his statue, the statue of Kang dynasty, so Alexander Heathcote given him a grand and majestic building. A small, inadequate gift, insufficient gift, and my feeble attempt to repay you in kind. The craftsman fell to his knees and begged forgiveness of the Mandarin, as he knew it was forbidden for an artisan to accept gifts from a foreigner. The Mandarin raised the frightened blue figure from the ground, explaining to his countrymen that the Empress herself had sanctioned the minister's request. A smile of joy came over the face of the craftsman, and he slowly walked up to the doorway of the beautiful little house, unable to resist running his hand over the carved lion dogs. The three travellers then spent over an hour admiring the little house before returning the silent mutual happiness back to the workshop in Hali Chuan. The two men thus parted, honor satisfied, and Sir Alexander wrote to him his embassy that night, content that his actions had met with the approval of the Mandarin as well as Lady Heathcote. The minister completed his tour of duty in Peking, and the Empress awarded him the Silver Star of China, and a grateful queen added the KCVO to his already long list of decorations. After a few weeks back at the Foreign Office, clearing the China desk, Sir Alexander retired to his native Yorkshire, from where he came, the only English county whose inhabitants still hope to be born and die in the same place, not unlike the Chinese. Sir Alexander spent his final years in the home of his late father with his wife and the little Ming Emperor. The statue occupied the center of the mantelpiece shelf in the drawing room for all to see and admire. Alexander Heathcote put the statue in the center of the mantelpiece, in the center of the shelf, in the drawing room, for all to see and admire. Being an exact man, Sir Alexander wrote a long and detailed will in which he left precise instructions for the disposal of his estate. Disposal of his estate means area of land under single ownership, including what was to happen to the little statue after his death. He has written a long will, and in his will, what he written you see. He bequeathed the Emperor Kang to his first son. He bequeathed the Emperor Kang to his first son, requesting that he do the same in order that the statue might always pass to the first son or a daughter if the direct male line faltered, if there is unsteadiness. He also made a provision that the statue was never to be disposed of unless the family's honor was at stake. That was the condition. Sir Alexander Heathcote died at the stroke of midnight on his 70th year, at the age of 70. His firstborn, Major James Heathcote, Major James Heathcote was serving his queen in the Boer War at the time he came into possession of the Ming Emperor. The major was a fighting man commissioned with the Duke of Wellington's regiment, and although he had little interest in culture, even he could see the family heirloom was no ordinary treasure. So he loaned the statue to the regimental mess at Halifax in order that the emperor could be displayed in the dining room for his brother officers to appreciate. When James Heathcote became colonel of the Dukes, the emperor stood proudly on the table alongside the trophies won at Waterloo and Sevastopol in Crimea and Madrid. And there the Ming statue remained until the colonel's retirement to his father's house in Yorkshire, when the emperor returned once again to the drawing room mantelpiece. The colonel was not a man to disobey his late father, even in death, and he left clear instruction that the heirloom must always be passed on to the firstborn of the Heathcotes, unless the family honor was in jeopardy, danger of loss. Colonel James Heathcote, MC, did not die a soldier's death. He simply fell asleep one night by the fire, the Yorkshire post on his lap. The colonel's firstborn, the Reverend Alexander Heathcote, was at the time presiding over a small flock in the parish church of Much Hadham in Hertfordshire. After burying his father with military honors, he placed the little Ming emperor on the mantelpiece of the vicarage. Vicarage means here residence of a vicar. Few members of the Mothers' Union appreciated the masterpiece, but one or two old ladies were heard to remark on its delicate carving, and it was not until the Reverend means worth of respect. Reverend became the right Reverend, and the little statue found its way into the bishop's palace, that the emperor attracted the admiration he deserved. Many of those who visited the palace and heard the story of how the bishop's grandfather had acquired the Ming statue were fascinated, attracted to learn of the difference between the magnificent statue and its base. It always made a good after dinner story. What happened after that, it will be explained in my next video. Thank you so much, students.